I'm just going to see if this is going to record. There's something going on with my camera. Maybe I've got it jammed. But why that long video is recorded, I'm just going to say again. I was a blonde baby. That's right. But your baby and your toddler hair is very different to the hair that you have when you lose it. Okay. So I don't know if people are familiar, but as you get older, you don't stay this tiny little baby or tiny little toddler. Okay. You grow. You don't even have the same teeth. You don't have the same hair. As soon as I grew up from being a toddler, my hair's been jet black. Now, in the last 10 years, the description that these people, groups and organisations had gathered, including those from the high school, they gave me a description of Justin Pascoe. Justin Pascoe was this blonde, sort of mousy, sort of brown-haired loser. I know, because as soon as they started talking, I'm like, I didn't... First of all, when it was like, oh, but your brother. And I'm like thinking, did I meet my stepbrother, Daniel Rackley? But then they started talking about a brother in my high school, an older brother. I'm like, I never had an older brother. So this is all to do with some weird shit that some junky women that drink alcohol. Women shouldn't drink alcohol at all because they've just got no brain cells. I mean, women are already, their DNA, they're already stupid. So their, genetics, women are born stupid anyway. They don't have the brain capacity to cope like men do. Okay? That's just a fact. Women just don't have the brain capacity to cope like men do. So they can't determine things the way men do. They take, this is really weird what the world's doing, because it's like, okay, this is why in all religions it says to not believe women. In the Roman Catholic religion we have Adam and Eve, and the women are described as being dishonest and neurotic. In Islam you have a female testimony is worth half of a male's. And honest to God, that's just because that they are not truthful people. They're neurotic. They're irrational. Women are naturally irrational beings. Like I really disagree with how the world's going. This is very odd because you're giving women jobs that they can't handle, and it's because it's not because of the, it's feminism stuff. It's like, no, I'm sorry, but their genetic is stupid. Their genetic makeup, their DNA is stupid. They don't have the brain capacity like a man does. Okay. So they can't, really, comprehend things the same way. They comprehend it extremely weird. Then when you add drugs and alcohol in that, you've got a very unhinged female. And that female should be locked up. If a female drinks alcohol that's anything more to an excessive amount, they should be locked up. Okay, if they're a drug-using female, I'm sorry, they already don't have a brain that's at the same level as a man's brain. Okay, and that's a fact. That is a fact. Okay, so this is very weird with the rubbish that's been made up in the last 10 years. I mean, I will admit I did play a prank back to the ridiculous stories, especially from 2016 to 2018, mocking it and playing it. But, I was just trying to prove monitoring and surveillance was going on. That's all. It wasn't true, what I said. I was just trying to prove monitoring and surveillance. So, when I grew up from a toddler and I grew into myself, my hair has been near jet black. The person that these people described from Lady Rosary College, they described Justin Pascoe. Justin Pascoe wore Army cadets clothes to school. He was we had a uniform which had blazers. Okay, if we didn't wear a blazer, I wore a dark blue with the maroon V-neck. I used to wear the jumper, but you either wore a blazer, a jacket. I like the jumper, so I used to wear shirt, tie. Even in summer, you wore the shirt and tie, sleeves down, and the beautiful rich blue. It was called royal blue with the V-neck. Very private school, very white. Almost like a tennis jumper. I loved it. I liked the tennis jumper look because I would take it off and do the whole jumper over my shoulders and fold it. Other people chose to have the blazer. The blazer was just, I like the jumper look. Anyway, it was my choice. You ever had to wear the jumper or the blazer? I took the jumper, stunning jumper. Anyway, this other guy stood out like a sore thumb. He never wore a uniform. He came from a very low socioeconomic family. He might have been there. I don't know what he was there for. His family must have got a grant or something. But his brother was there as well. So these people actually described a good description of Justin Pascoe. Not just because they mentioned the brother, but then they started talking about wearing camouflage clothes, Army cadets clothes at school. I'm like, oh God, you're talking about Justin Pascoe. He's not my year. He was a year older than me, but the same teachers. So I was like, okay, so the teachers, the pupils, not many people remember me from Tamworth. And the simple fact is, I'm not born there, I'm not raised there, and I really wasn't there for about 6 years. Like, I lived there for 6 years, but I was only there during school. This is why I keep telling my mum, can you stop lying? Because every break I had, so if we didn't have sports on, I was back home in Sydney. So I was back home in Sydney more than Amanda. Every school holiday except for October, I was back home in Sydney. So no one got to know me in Tamworth or New England, really, because I wasn't there. And that's why the descriptions were wrong. And then it was, so besides, there was this description of a guy that wore camouflage. He actually brought a gun to school for like show and tell or something. It was in a school assembly. He also sung Phantom of the Opera school assembly. Look, this guy really stuck out, and not because of his poor hygiene as well. Oh my God, he stuck like he would stand up. I'm like, oh God, this guy stands up right close behind you. This guy would stand up that close behind you. You could feel him breathing on the back of your neck, like this Justin Pascoe. Seriously, I was like, my God, can you step back a bit? Like, he was real poor. He's from a very poor family. And I mean, we've been like, people were spoken to about not teasing him because of he was teased. Apparently, he was teased. He was bullied, but it was because of his poorness, and he didn't have the uniform. He couldn't afford the uniform. You know, my mother's used these. I'm like, in the last 10 years, like, my mum's made up some. I'm like, they're not talking about me. They're talking. And I'm like, oh, here we go. Carol's up to her same bullshit. A story related to somebody else. My mum's jumped on. Mum's like, oh yes, because we were working class and we didn't have much. I'm like, how much? I grew up with saltwater swimming pools, in-ground swimming pools, stable complex that were worth more than people's houses. I grew up in. The stabling complex that was to house my horses was worth more than what people's houses are. And my mum's there doing this shit. I'm like, Carol, they're not talking about me. You fucking idiot. Like, literally, Carol was up to the same shit again. But we were just working class. Meanwhile, I live in this massive, huge house with a formal living room, a formal dining room, a family room, a 10-seater entertainment room, a cabana area off the in-ground saltwater swimming pool, around the corner another entertainment area, a stable complex that houses all the thoroughbred hacks that's worth more money than most people's houses, and then the horses inside it are worth more than most people's cars. And mum's... Oh, Christ. Emmy goes to fucking Carol. Oh, Emmy goes to Carol, please. Like, honestly, guys, you sit there, it's like, seriously, one of these days, Carol, because seriously, someone's going to look at it, wait a minute, I've been to their fucking house. Their house is huge. The fuck she's on about? They've got like a massive, huge entertainment area. They've got a stable complex you could fucking live in. Most people don't have a house that big as their stable complex. Like, that's massive. Like, I'm sitting back going, she's a fucking dickhead, isn't she? So, people from my high school describe Justin Pascoe. And it's really clear. So I'm then going, I'm like, where are you getting it from? Go back. Like, I'm Justin Fleming. And you've got someone older than me as well. Anyway, this is me in 1994. Okay? So the description that people actually had didn't describe, this is not the person they described. You see that? That's me with a monobrow, black hair, black eyebrows. Everything's black. Because I'm actually dark brown, jet black. Okay? Oh, that's mum's handwriting on the back of there. Yeah, year 9, 1994. Okay? That's me. That's not who they described. See this? That's a photo of me in 1994. That is not the description that people were given about me at all. Okay? So, I've said this, and then the other description related to Daniel Rackley, he's a ranger. So, my stepbrother lived in Tamworth in 1995. He moved there around 1994, 1995. He moved there. So, actually, almost the same time this photo's taken, funny enough. So, my stepbrother, Daniel Rackley, moved, actually, it was 95, because he moved there when his father, my stepfather, Mark Rackley, and my mother, Carol Purdy, were going for a divorce. That's when my stepbrother moved there. He's a ranger. He's got like his natural hair is like his dad, like reddish brown, like ranger. They are. They're dirty. Look like abos. They do. They look like fucking abos. That's my stepbrother. Which criminals of Tamworth. Oh, don't get me started. Not just criminals. Nursing, medical, drug and alcohol rehabilitation, mental health from Tamworth, who knew Daniel Rackley because he was always suicidal. He was always off his face on drugs, alcohol, cannabis. His dad, Mark Rackley, was a nurse, a deadbeat nurse. And Daniel used to hang around with him at the Freemason nursing home called Mimby House that he used to work in. Daniel Rackley was an alcoholic like his father. So his father's a massive cannabis smoker. 10 years I've had people go, oh, but he used to be a cannabis smoker. No, never been a cannabis smoker. You are describing Daniel Rackley and Mark Rackley. We keep going around in circles, yet again. Oh, police are just as the blame. So is Housing Commission. So Daniel Rackley, they described. And that information, it must have come from Tamworth because Daniel Rackley was in all sorts of trouble in Tamworth. I've said to police, like I've rang Oxley Police, it's like, what's going on? Like, because you've got me down. Like what are you harassing me for? Like, do you guys ever cite identification? Like, you know, or just take what people said. Like, my stepbrother, because we're the same year as birth. What did he do? What trouble was my stepbrother in this time? What has Daniel Rackley been up to this time? Because he's like his fucking father. And what am I dragged into? Because of my stepbrother. So Daniel Rackley is my stepbrother who lived in Tamworth. He's involved strongly in alcoholism, drugs, heavy drugs, rebels, bikie gangs, which is Shane Childs, who I was wrongly identified as. So is Christy Childs, Shane Childs' sister's partner, Justin, who's an abo. So is Daniel Rackley and Mark Rackley. So imagine what I've been dragged into every time I'm socialising with my mother, and that's why I don't have anything to do with my mother. It's like, no, I get dragged into people that are affiliated with you and their bad behaviour, so I want nothing to do with you, thanks. Like, I've just gone through 10 years of hell because of that. Like, so, I mean, like, imagine, like, Tamworth Police is like, this is Daniel Rackley. Mark Rackley's son, that little fucking piece of shit. So, also the rebels, nurses, mental health. Oh, Daniel Rackley was suicidal, drug issues, same as fucking Carol's second husband. I bet you Carol started telling people that information because I wondered why my medical team had information to do with my stepbrother. I bet you Carol has done it again. She did this in the past. Every time she's up to some bullshit, she was doing it again. Where she was like, she gave people information that was to do with my stepbrother and my stepfather. I was like, oh, what's Carol up to this time? So, yeah, she's talking about Mark Rackley. That's her second husband. That's not my father. And Mark Rackley's son's Daniel Rackley. Okay. There's also Belinda Rackley, Kimberly Rackley, and Michelle Rackley's the oldest, but I don't think that was biological Mark Rackley's daughter. So biological, it goes Belinda Rackley, Daniel Rackley, and Kimberly Rackley. Yeah. Like this was going around in circles. Like, honest to God, I'm just like, for fuck, what's he done this time? Like, seriously, because what am I dragged into? Literally, we had to rescue the fucking deadbeat half-caste shit that my mother had with her second husband. And next minute, I'm getting dragged into stuff. I'm like, right, I've turned up fucking here with Amanda. Okay. Christy Childs, who these fucking low-life cunts, the rebel bikie gang members know her brother fucking Shane Childs, plus her partner, that fucking Justin the Abo. Okay. And they fucking know Faith Rackley's brother, Daniel Rackley, and her father, Mark Rackley. Are you fucking shitting me? You lot of scummy cunts drag me into this shit all the time. And they then turn around and make it out to, oh, Justin's this, Justin's that. It's like, no, I'm actually not. You are. You women are the fucking criminal pieces of shit. Okay, I stay away from you because every time I'm seen with my mother or her family where they live, I get dragged into your fucking connections of criminal shit. Piss off. Like you married your freaking second husband. I'm dragged into this shit. Same as your deadbeat fucking sister, Robin Childs, and her deadbeat kids, Shane and Chrissy Childs. I don't want to know them. Thanks very fucking much. The shit that I get dragged into because of you cunts. Anyway. Again, so it was, and then there was Darren Taylor. Someone identified me as being the same character as Darren Taylor, and I'm like, the fuck's going on? And it was Darren Sylvester, who was actually my close friend. This probably come from Mum's deadbeat niece, Christy Childs. She's a fucking loser. Swear to God. She told me all this shit over the years about, oh, your good friend Darren's in all this trouble. Anyway, so I stopped talking to Darren Sylvester. To finally find out recently that I'm like, who are you talking about? She goes, oh, Darren Taylor. I'm like, oh, fuck off, Christy. I don't fucking know Darren Taylor, you idiot. I thought you were talking about actual close friend Darren Sylvester. You're a fucking loser. You're like your dumb fucking mother. Piss off. Christy fucking Charles. She's a fucking loser. Anyway, that's me in 1994. That's me in 1992. I still got the mole on my nose. Like, seriously, there you go. You wrongly identified me as someone else. You even had a wrong description, dickheads.